It always has to start with the. That's akin to a movie that'll show of all time, which is Seinfeld, which I kind of grew up on. And all of the episodes of Seinfeld start with the.
Welcome, everyone, to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Hamill. This is episode 27 of Season 5. With Taste of the Poconos Restaurant Week just around the corner, November 9th through the 14th, we're diving into what makes a local favorite tick: seasonal ingredients, creative freedom, and a deep connection to the community. We are catching up with my good friend Ben Cooper of Here and Now Brewing Company in Honesdale. Ben and his team are constantly evolving their menu, drawing inspiration from local farmers, fellow chefs, and even casual conversations over beers and pizza. It's a behind-the-scenes look at how collaboration and passion fuel one of the most dynamic spots in the Pocono culinary scene. More on that in just a bit. The Poconos is a year-round destination for millions, with 2,400 square miles of mountains, forests, lakes, and rivers, with historic downtowns and iconic family resorts. It's the perfect getaway. You can always find out more at PoconoMountains.com or watch PTN, the Pocono Television Network, streaming live 24/7. Now back to the episode. The brewery on Main Street in Honesdale offers pizza and not pizza, lots of great drinks, and for Restaurant Week, a burger and beer combo that can't be beat. Let's head into the brewery and hear what's cooking, literally and figuratively, here and now. Enjoy.
It was really easy tonight for a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think that what we're doing at Here and Now Brewing Company in Honesdale, Pennsylvania. You gotta stop doing that. I'm sorry. That was like my one. That was my one. But no, it's amazing. People around here often just bank on the summer months, and we definitely had a busy summer, but it's the fall really helps us too.
Yeah. In midweek, I feel like people want to come out here because your food is great, the ambiance is great, and you guys take great care of, I've been a customer here since before you guys even had the restaurant open. It was pouring growlers in the back.
Sure.
I was pretty much one of the first in line.
I remember.
And you haven't been able to get rid of me yet.
As hard as we try.
We've tried. Yeah. So you very much have been the brains, if not the brawn, behind the food operation. And yes, you do imbibe here and there, but that's a separate thing. You don't brew.
No.
You don't. You do use brew ingredient.
There's been times with this operation that we've all had to just jump into different roles and help out where we can, but people have always that. A lot of friends and family have always been really intrigued by the brewing process, so we often get some free labor to come in and help out with the brewing process, just as to learn, just to learn the process. We have a beautiful setup there. We've always had smart, talented brewers that are good at teaching people. So it's been nice to work in tandem with the brewery and help out where we can, and they help out the kitchen and front of house where they can, and it's always just been a family vibe at Here and Now.
It has. You guys even have expanded over time. I feel like there was this organic way in which, and I'm sure Allaina could also speak to this, but you are the one on the hot seat tonight. You started in the back brewing, getting the, beer kind of dialed in, but then gutted really what this whole first floor was, turned this into fantastic bar. And then over time too, the gift shop, back room, all of that's come together. So it's just been a steady new flow.
Yeah. That to that point, when Allaina and I first started this project, I had no construction experience.
But you had to.
But I had to. And that's still a fun part when this place continues to grow and we're working on new projects, and it's being able to step out.
But this place too is source of pride for like how much you and your team pour into pizzas and
you like that?
yeah. So the pizzas and the menus and like the dishes that you like send out and like, because you want to, share them with the people that you want to share them with.
Yeah, and it's again like working with my better half, the love of my life.
Yeah.
Who kind of lets us have an open concept with this, such that like we can create what we're feeling at any given time. Has been like really inspirational, really awesome. It kind of forces us to just keep things fresh and keep us honest with like the product that we're putting out. Because it's always changing. It's just, we talk all the time, like in the kitchen and in the brewery and front of house with drinks, about what's in season, like what we're inspired about, what we have to use up. And that dictates a lot of what we put out from here and now. And if we weren't doing it like that, it would get pretty stale. And I think that people would feel that. And that's not something that we want to get into. So
yeah,
we're constantly working on just new ideas and keeping things fresh.
As a full disclosure for our listeners or anybody else, like full disclosure, we're friends. We recreate, either on the golf courses. We did a Woodlock Tuesday Night League for a season.
Yep.
We needed couples therapy.
Yeah.
But we also I think made all the connections with various other people, whether it's in the industry or in the area. And
yeah, it's a great community here. I've only been here a dozen years now, but it still kind of feels fresh and different that everyone is pretty on the same page about just like making this area for everyone and like not stepping on toes and just even if we're doing similar products, similar things, like we all have our own, client base or just like can offer something different to everyone. So it's been really nice working with and yeah, being able to golf or go to concerts with, different folks in the community. And just, again, that's kind of, starts the inspiration process of like doing new ideas, whether it be beer or pizza or cocktails or something like that. You sort of are like, hanging out with these people and seeing what they're doing or what they're into. And it makes it kind of makes it easier to come in and like come up with a pizza special or, just like, cause you had an idea, you were talking with somebody, that gave you an idea or is doing something similar and you want to just change it a little bit and, spin it your own way. I actually moved out to this area to work at the Anthill Farm, right out of culinary school. And I feel very connected with all the farmers that I met and doing that for a year. And this was for them. A lot of them are at that Wayne County's farmers market. And when they hatched this idea, was really excited about it, but also like wanted to make it, make sense for everyone. So like a couple of us, did talk to each other, which I think is so cool because I've worked, in other areas and similar events, it's kind of just like, I'm doing this. And if you do the same thing, you're copying me.
Yeah.
But we like talked about it and we worked on it and just, we didn't all want to like use the same ingredient from one farmer.
Right.
Because that doesn't really spread it around,
True.
It makes it more competitive, and it wasn't about that. It was just about like highlighting what these farmers had and what we could do with it. So
yes,
we did like all talk about it and made sure that we had kind of like, a vast menu throughout the market. Like we were all doing kind of something different. And I think it came out really well. We were proud of that.
So middle of the week, your guys' week looks like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sometimes you get a lobster food truck on a Sunday.
Yep.
But like you guys take a few days off to really recalibrate and make sure those 4 days on are solid.
Yeah, another thing we've had to work on throughout the years of just kind of, as we're saying, of just like keeping things fresh and local and seasonal, whimsical, is just, focusing on when we, get the most of our business and, are all like, we like to make sure that people that work for us and with us are having their own time off too. That can be like a pretty tough thing in this industry of like little time off to do things outside of it. And I've been through that, and other people that worked here have been through that. And that's where things get stale and just kind of like, you don't want to necessarily come into work. So we've just figured that, let's just focus on, instead of trying to spread ourselves too thin, let's just focus on 4 days a week and make sure that those are the best 4 days a week that we have, as opposed to just, trying to open more and burning people out. Is just, we never wanted to do that. And again, I think we tried other situations, other ways throughout the years, but really the business here is, matches up with what we're trying to do. So
yeah,
so I'm working out.
I had your special pizza tonight for the second time.
Feature pizza.
It's like
I was told way back in the day when I started in this industry, it was a chef who I'll leave out, but didn't like the term special.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like, everything we do is special.
That's true.
So we've always, and that's something that we've drilled into our workers here, but also like the clientele that comes in, of just like, I know it's kind of a common phrase of just like a special pizza, or
I say it without even thinking.
Special.
Yeah.
But we just, try to focus on it's featured,
Understood.
It's a feature because everything we do is special.
You guys were featured on that pizza doc.
Yeah.
On WVIA.
That was one of the coolest things.
That was really
besides
cool.
This podcast,
Kelly did great work there.
That might have been one of the coolest things in my career that I was a part of. Because Kelly did like a really amazing job in filming that. And not, I don't think it's bragging, but like we have, ever since we opened, we've done several, promotional type deals and like had people come in with cameras and just kind of shoot shots of us working the kitchen, this and that. Yeah. And they've all been really cool. Like, honestly, it's nice that, again, just my better half can like, kind of pick and choose the ones that we do. And she always like is working with, great people and places that are going to highlight us in the right way. But that pizza documentary was something that was just kind of on the schedule one day of like, this, person's coming in with a camera and going to shoot about our pizzas. We're known for our pizzas. She's going to come do it. And it ended up being like she came back. It was like a full day.
And here for like a jazz night too. Like,
so she came back a couple of times to, focus on like, or highlight like the jazz night. Mm-hmm. And just like getting the right, sound clips and B-roll and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we waited a while, and then when we finally got to see it, we were absolutely blown away.
Yeah.
And then how she put it all together, they put it all together in this great, documentary of this really popular thing around Northeast Pennsylvania.
I was just going to say, this is, I mean, I'm a little biased. My wife's from down Luzerne County way. Some stellar traditional pizza places. And then to have you guys included, because I wouldn't call you guys traditional pizza.
No.
By any means. However, it's as good as the pizza I've had anywhere on this planet. And I've traveled, and I clearly have eaten while I've traveled. So
clearly.
Clearly. Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. It's still tough because it is something that like people have their own, like regionally pizza is such a thing. And then on top of that, it's like, it's like those food memories of just like who hasn't gotten just like takeout, or just like their local takeout pizza place, and just like young. That's something that you can like feed your kids as they're growing up. And it's just creating those memories. And depending on where you are when you grow up, it becomes like, this is how pizza's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I kind of had that. I mean, I grew up in Western Massachusetts, like, Neighborhood Pizza was like our place, and like it was a New York style pie that that was kind of like what we had, and it was good. But even when I moved out to Pennsylvania, to NEPA here, I went a few years without, the true, and I don't even want to screw anything up, but just like the tray pizzas, or just like the old Forge style out here was something that like growing up in Massachusetts, like we didn't know about that.
No.
And then like move out here and like once you start like finally try it, I think and again, I don't want to upset anyone or anything, right. But like
don't be controversial on a podcast. That's not allowed.
Can't do that.
That is not allowed.
Can't do that. Edit me out. But the first like a memorable pizza experience moving out here was like a good friend when I was at the farm. And a good friend, Brian Fox, was coming over to play cards one night after like, a long day out in the fields. He was a good buddy, and he came over, we were playing cards, and he stopped at the Waymart Hotel in Waymart. And brought
delicacy right there, my friend.
And that was the first, like, I honestly think it was like one of the first like tray pies, like closest to.
That's a pretty great first try.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I was hooked. I still love it, but it was like only like years later I realized that it was a thing, and like making the pilgrimage, to Old Forge, where, Allaina would, she grew up here, so she knew these places of like Arcaro and Janelle's. Yeah, there's a bunch. I can't remember all of them, but amazing how they were like to see it for the first time. It's just like, oh, they're right, like across the street from each other. Just like this is even. It's almost like it reminded me too of like a Geno's and Pat's thing with like cheesesteak that in Philly. Of like that's what you kind of hear. And again, growing up, like my parents were foodies. Like we loved watching the Food Network and these food shows, and like like we'd see that down in Philly and be like, oh, cool, like. They're right across the street, Geno's and Pat, like you got to go one and like get the other. And then it's like moving closer up here and just like, I've spent a lot of time in Philly, but going down a couple of times, you talk to a lot of people who like do know the scene and they're like, fuck Pat's and Geno's. Like the best one's Angelo.
That's not the Del Sandro's or wherever. You need to get the,
and that's kind of in the valley here, couple 2-3 places,
that's
you
right.
Know about the ones that have gotten fame, but there's also just like a lot of like small little bars that have just been doing this pizza, like their play on this dough, sauce, and cheese, dish that is just really cool to like be able to go around and just like try a bunch of different ones and have this like rapport with your friends or buddies of like, oh, you have to try this one. Have you ever tried this one?
Yeah.
And it's all like, the ones that are known, like they are for good reason of just like getting the, Barstool pizza reviews and stuff like that is like worth it. But it's also amazing how, not far from us is just this like mecca of these
cult following.
Yeah, it's like cult following of these pizza.
I have, and others have probably marveled at the names. One in particular is the vacation meeting, which happened right before my employment for the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau. And it happened here, and there was a meeting, and there were some like locals who turned out, and you guys made a great pizza with basil, pesto, caramelized onions, ricotta, correct?
Yeah, I believe it's pronounced ricotta.
Ricotta. I don't know.
I had a laugh from Allaina on that one. No, ricotta. That one, yeah. So I, again, like coming up with these pizzas has become just so situational at times, but a lot of them are kind of classic or just have been done by some of the millions of pizza places that are in this world. But what makes ours kind of unique, but other than our dough and the ingredients and stuff, is the names. Like I love coming up with the names because we never wanted to just, call them what they were. The vacation meeting was conceived during a meeting about people vacationing to Northeast Pennsylvania. But that was the first time that I put a basil pesto on our dough. And then if I remember correctly, it was we had done a lot of caramelized onions, and we had just been starting to make our own fresh ricotta cheese, as I call it. And we just thought of like, what if we combine those two? So we mixed up the cheese with the caramelized onions, put that on top of the basil pesto, and just, for that party. And just because that, was delicious. We got a lot of high praise. We're like, we have to keep doing this pizza. What are we going to call it? The vacation meeting.
Yeah.
And it's, it always has to start with that's akin to the movie that'll show of all time, which is Seinfeld, which I kind of grew up on. And all of the episodes of Seinfeld start with the. So as soon as we, had this ability to like build the pizza menu and kind of call them different wacky names, I just, my big thing was that they all have to start with the, in honor of Larry David, Jerry Seinfeld, and their creation of the best sitcom of all time.
Episode. And you have one. I mean, I don't know if you can.
Hernandez Keith Hernandez was a good one. I would say that my favorite Seinfeld episode is the cigar store India. And there's but I can sit here and come up with like a food, like make a pizza over that exact episode. It would be Chinese food, like a takeout Chinese theme of a pizza for one of the great scenes of that episode when Jerry asked the mailman where the Chinese food restaurant is, and the mailman, who happens to be Chinese, says, "Oh, why do I have to know where the Chinese food is? Just because I'm Chinese?" And Jerry says, No, because you're the mailman. I figured you'd know the neighborhood. But yeah, that one's got a lot of good puns. I love that humor. And it kind of, obviously, like you can tell how I come up with some of these pizza names, is they're kind of, abstract and dry at times, but that's what, keeps us going. One of the things that keeps us going in the bag is coming up with these new ideas of sometimes we'll come up with the ingredients and then come up with a name, but there's also times where we'll have a good name and we'll come up with the pizza based on that. And I could totally give you an example on the next podcast that we have.
Nice. I mean, I'll just list them off. The LeBrian, okay. The vacation meeting we talked about. The protein.
Do you want me to go through all these?
No,
because it'd be fun.
No, I mean,
I would love it.
And that'll be quick. That's where we're going to have the hook in, man. They're going to come back more later on.
Tune in next week.
The It's About Time, the Margotarian, the Wham Bam Thank You Clam, the Dinner Party, Ray of Honor. But the Oscar,
right, is modeled after the Garbage Plate. Fantasy, I think, for your neck of the woods, or where you're school, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was another, as I said before, my parents were, big foodies and like loved to kind of just like go on day trips or road trips to get the best burger or hot dog or just kind of regional specialties. And my mother's family is from Buffalo, New York. Yeah. So growing up, we drove to Buffalo probably 2 or 3 times a year.
Through the Rock.
Is that what it's called? The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock. And yeah, we saw that. And how cool. Yeah. The Garbage Plate is just, as I remember it, was just, I know it's a specific, like there's, macaroni and meat sauce and your fries or remember chopped up meats and whatever. Yeah. But it's essentially just whatever's kind of around, whatever. But the Oscar is our take on the Garbage Plate, where every topping that we have, like all the pizza toppings, and then we throw in, toppings from the salads, and we put an order of fries on there. Yeah, all the sauces and garnishes that we have all go on that pizza, and it's a lot. I think there was a time that we had a contest with the Oscar that if one person could finish the entire pizza in one sitting, we would they wouldn't have to pay for it, and we would do something that we never had to do because no one was ever able to do it. That's especially because once that contest was a thing, we made sure that pizza was super loaded.
Not inedible, but not entirely.
It was hard to eat for how much feta was on that pizza. It was just a lot of food. But now, it's just a really cool way to kind of highlight, to use everything, all the ingredients that we're using back in the kitchen. And amazingly, like, we've gotten a lot, we still sell a decent amount of them, not as the challenge, so they're more approachable to eat, but everything kind of works together when you just have that mismatch or everything, but they're all good flavors and they all kind of work well together.
They do. We come back often.
As excuse me for forgetting, I'm sure people are wondering, I mentioned the garbage plates. I'm all about the garbage plate. And Oscar, the Oscar, refers to Oscar the Grouch, who lived in a garbage can.
And Ben, now you just blew my mind.
Yep.
I didn't realize till now how actually smart you are.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's taken you so long, but
the appreciation was lingering. Yeah,
the naming of the pizzas is a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes confusing, but again, that's just part of our, the way we do things here. And there's descriptions, and you can always add the server. Yeah,
I've seen on TV. I'm getting it.
That one's pretty vague.
That's
pretty
very vague. Yeah, I mean,
obviously, fortunately, it wasn't. It was actually for your former employer.
The old TV
where we were featured on WNEP's Home and Backyard.
Yeah.
And we did the Oscar pizza for that. And it was a pretty epic video filming where we just added a lot to it. And that clip of is still floating around out there. So instead of trying to explain in a couple of words on the menu, we just put as seen on TV, which I'm sure that still airs somewhere at some time.
Can I be honest with you, though? Like, really, as we're maybe winding things down here, I see so much on this menu, but I literally don't see any fish.
Well, if you look hard enough, you'll see a lot of references throughout the menu.
Yeah,
to the great.
And you really staved off the mention at any time here on this podcast.
In addition, I feel like we just talked about the pizza and how awesome the place looks and everything, but something that we've been working hard on, I think we're starting to get there, is here now is more than just pizza and beer. Non-alcoholic drink options, but like the cocktails, we're doing wine now. But even in the kitchen, we've gotten people love our pizza and we love doing them, but it also is like a lot to get bogged down with pizza. So we've also been doing a lot of other things in the kitchen. Most notably our smash burgers. That's something else that
you think you're on the menu?
What was it? 2 years ago, my friend CJ and I were going down to Madison Square Garden for a Fish concert.
Yep.
We got there early. We actually went to a little place called Hamburger America, which is, what's the guy's name? Motz? Something Motz. But he is he wrote a really awesome book by the same name, Hamburger America, and it highlights all the regional specialties of burgers across the country. And he opened up a spot in Manhattan.
Yep.
And what he kind of focused on was the Oklahoma Smash Burger, which is like a beef patty, topped with like thinly shaved onions and then smashed in the griddle. We had one out there and it was, again, like inspirational. So I wanted to come back and sort of do our own take on it, which we have, but also focusing, on the locality of the product, which is very important to me. getting in the right, local, because we have a lot of beef farmers around here.
True.
And when they have,
area, they've shifted a lot.
yeah, when we have beef, raised close to home, and we have the opportunity to buy it, we love doing these smash burgers. And actually Wednesday, unfortunately, we didn't have a smash burger night tonight on this Wednesday. But more often than not, in these kind of slower winter months, we focus on these smash burgers in-house, like kind of a Wednesday only type thing.
They'd be a feature.
They've gotten pretty popular. Yeah. People really started coming in for them, and we kind of, take them off when we run out of the beef, and people still come in looking for them. So I think that, talking to a couple farmers and maybe in a couple of weeks, there might be a good opportunity to sort of offer our well-known smash burgers
More than one night.
Wait, more than one night. Maybe even for a whole week.
Are you talking about a certain week in November?
It's that could line up perfectly with my time frame there. Yeah, because I think like the
chance would have it.
First week in November.
Chance would have it that we're talking more globally about a restaurant week.
Really?
That week could be the week you guys have your smash burgers, and I don't know, pair it with a nice beer.
Wow,
I don't know.
That's a great idea. So if you could come in here now and get like any day that we're open that week,
yeah,
and you could come in and get one of our, pretty popular smash burgers and maybe a pint of one of our beers, and it would kind of be like a package deal.
Yeah,
that's a heck of an idea.
Dan Cooper here now. Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
It's clear that Here and Now Brewing Company is more than just a place to grab a great beer or a slice. It's a hub of creativity, collaboration, and community spirit. Don't forget, Restaurant Week runs November 9th through the 14th. It's the perfect time to explore the incredible flavors our region has to offer. From Honesdale to Holly and beyond, local chefs are serving up something special, and you don't want to miss it. Learn more at PoconoMountains.com. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. We'll have a new episode each week, highlighting lots of the fun things you can experience while you're visiting the Poconos. Subscribe and leave a review and or comment on whatever platform you listen.
Celebrate our great restaurant scene and our chefs that make it happen during Restaurant Week.
Enjoy.
The Pocono Mountains is the best when it comes to creative food and beverage. Why not try something new? Or sample our international flavors and mountain favorites. These are the most delicious weeks of the year. You just have to know when it is. Visit PoconoMountains.com.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm Jim Hamill. Now for a Pocono Mountains Podcast Extra. There are numerous restaurants taking part in Restaurant Week. Pocono Organics Market Cafe is one of them. Dee and Bree had an adventure there recently, learning about microgreens. Here's a listen back. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, it's Bree.
Andy.
We're at Pocono Organics, one of North America's largest regenerative organic certified farms.
We're in one of their greenhouses, and we're about to follow the journey on how they cultivate microgreens, and we're going to get to harvest them today.
From farm to fork. We're here with Jacqueline. She's a jack of all trades at Pocono Organics. We are harvesting microgreens, but the process started way before this.
Yeah, we had a chance to get our hands dirty. Jacqueline, can you walk us through that process so our viewers can understand it?
So it all really starts out with getting our trays, our soil, and then spreading our seeds. That's the key to get this all on the roll. After that, what we just went through, we're coming here now and ready to harvest. And I can see you guys are digging right in here.
Yeah.
They follow directions well. So we're gonna cut at least 2 inches for our sunflower. You don't want to get any soil or the roots to contaminate. You just want to get nice, clean shoots.
How long does each seed take to kind of cultivate and grow?
It can take, like 7 to 9 days. It can take 2 to 3 weeks. We do have some that take about 5 weeks. So it depends on the variety.
Can you tell us the benefits of microgreens? I know you guys started growing these here. What are the benefits that people can expect?
Well, for one thing, they are super fun to grow, right? Which gives you, once you grow, you have your nutrition. It's also great to put toppings and garnishes on your plates.
We're excited. We get to use some of these in the cafe later with Chef Lindsay. So it's fun to start here and then see where it goes.
Yes, but it doesn't only end here. We also package and send out to local restaurants and local markets. We also have now where you can also go online, and we do have UPS shipping within 100 miles. I mean, we can give the nutrition right to you at your door with UPS. It's so nice to know that everything is done here on site. We don't have to worry about things being distributed to other facilities. We know what we have here, and it's literally grown, weighed, packaged, sold, or cooked.
From plant to plate, we came from the greenhouse into the Pocono Organics Cafe.
And we're putting our hard work, making it into a meal, and we're with none other than Chef Lindsay, a Chopped Champion chef who you might recognize from Food Network's hit show. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much for coming.
What are we making today?
So the first thing we're gonna make is our asparagus flatbread. This is one of our spring menu items. It's one of my favorites. So we've got a whipped brie and fresh asparagus that we've toasted in the oven. And now we're gonna add some of the prosciutto. Do you wanna add some?
Yes, Deanna, this is a job for you.
You can add all of it to every piece. We want it in every bite.
So do you connect with the farmers, kind of like you keep in contact to see what produce they have to make the dishes that you make?
Yeah, we work together daily and then seasonally to decide what we're going to be growing. We're also growing this broccoli microgreens, which we're freeze drying and making into a powder. This is my best kept secret as a mom. This is the best way to sneak vegetables into your kids' food. I put this in brownies, smoothies, mac and cheese, and my 5-year-old doesn't know. So we're gonna make our kids' smoothie that we have here in the market, and you're gonna see that you can barely even tell that there's powder in it. It's a banana and strawberry smoothie. So we can go ahead and get started with peeling our banana, dropping it in.
Now, and I think what's really cool too is a lot of people might not realize that they can come here to Pocono Organics and eat at the cafe, and you have this to-go section with so many different products and ingredients. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so our grab and go case, we actually just expanded it this spring. So now we have, like, we call it our farmer's lunch. And it's a lunch that you could maybe eat on a tractor or at a picnic. So it's a grab and go sandwich. It comes with a piece of fruit and a choice of chips or a side salad. Every week we do a different meal that you can take and eat. All right, let's try. Let's see if we can taste that broccoli.
Cheers.
Let's see.
I don't taste it at all. Oh, that's really good.
You can taste how fresh it is. Can we sample this flatbread next? All right.
Okay.
Cheers. And it tastes better knowing all of our hard work went into this.
We are now farmers and chefs today.
The Pocono Organics Market and Cafe is open for you to visit throughout the year with produce and menus that change by the season.
Thank you to Chef Lindsay and the team here at Pocono Organics for letting us get our hands a little bit dirty and then bringing our work right here. So we got to be farmers and chefs today.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
We're
Brie and Dee for the Pocono Television Network.
Pocono Organics and Restaurant Week. Learn more at PoconoMountains.com. We certainly hope you enjoyed Pocono Mountains podcast. Please remember to subscribe anywhere podcasts are available. Come visit us in the Pocono Mountains. Plan your trip today.